Hey, how's it going? I was actually driving to the airport to pick up my sister, one of my sisters. So she's home for the break. Christmas, all that stuff. Yay! But it took me forever to drive to the airport. Forever. Meaning it's normally like 35 minutes away without any traffic. And oh my gosh. So I leave the house with the dog because the dog loves to go to the airport. Right, Winston? Winston's not even here. Winston's downstairs actually. But so that happened. And so we're driving down and I was like, oh great, get to the freeway. It's like, there's traffic on the freeway. It's like a 15-minute standstill, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because this is like the interstate, and one goes off toward the airport, and one goes, I think it's called the Interstate Bridge, or something like that. I don't know, in Portland. And so you go off toward Seattle or toward the airport. Okay, so everybody decides to go toward the side, I don't know, toward the airport. Everybody wasn't going to the airport, but I was going to the airport. So it was so much traffic and it drove me nuts. Luckily, it was sunny outside today. So that wasn't the issue. Like I could see stuff like that. But I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, so I'm on the road and my sister says she landed. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna rush because when people say they landed. They haven't gone into the gate. They haven't departed the plane, stuff like that. So I was fine. She was on the ground, haven't gotten off the plane and haven't, So I'm fine. Still annoyed that I'm stuck in traffic on the freeway, interstate, whatever you want to call it. And oh my gosh. Cars were honking at me because a car honked at me because I was like, oh crap, I gotta get over. And it's the, oh yeah, you start to speed up and then you slow down again. And then I realized, oh shoot, I have to get over a lane to go off. And I'm not that type of person to I won't cut people off. If the line is back and I notice there's a line getting off toward the exit, I'll just get into that line. So I completely slowed down, which is fine. It was traffic and I turned on my blinker, but then this guy behind me came up and he was going straight and he started honking at me because I slowed down to merge over, which I did. Merging's annoying in traffic anyways. I'm like, dude, I have to get over before this lane goes off, because I have to go off. And then I got stuck in more traffic. So I finally got there and I realized the one thing I don't like about the airport is picking people up, because if they're not outside right when I get there, I have to loop around. But the loop around thing, the drive through and you loop around, thing, it takes forever. You can't just cut through. You have to back down the main street. So this is the main street and you go to a traffic light, then you'd make your little U-turn and then go back down this main street, then the terminal's right here and you go loop back around, because that's how the Portland airport's set up. And so finally I go back and I was like, where are you? You need this. She said she was between two places. Cool, just go stand by. Just stand still so I can see you. And I'm like, oh, I saw her before she saw me. And of course Winston was ballistic because Winston, yeah. But then on our way home, we stopped by Dutch Bros too. But on our way home, we got Dutch Bros. We got a pup cup, which is puppuccino, they're called puppuccinos at Starbucks, but I guess they're called pup cups over here. So it's this whipping cream for the dog. He was thrilled. So I ended up, the Google Maps took me a different way to start going home just because it avoided the freeway traffic, but I still got on the freeway traffic. Oh my gosh. It was insane. Like, are you kidding me? So we got stuck in the freeway traffic. Avoided some freeway traffic, but you know, you just have to merge into the freeway traffic eventually. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's taking me so long. Like, by the time we got home, I have this little thing on my car. I don't know how I set it to something, and it will tell you how many minutes you've driven, how many miles you've been in the time your car has been on. So that it has, I don't know, I like it. Like, it's told me from the time I pulled into my garage, you've been driving for 2 hours and you drove 31 miles, because it was crazy, because it was in the world. I was so tired when I got home, so I came up. No, I didn't come upstairs. I'm like, I did, like, I watched some YouTube videos and stuff, but I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm so tired. And I was like, oh, it's like 9 o'clock. It's like 7:30 right now. I'm like, ridiculous. At 5 o'clock, I thought it was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, this is ridiculous, because it's dark as midnight out there, guys. Dark as midnight. And I don't know if that's a term, but it's a term that people agree with, because I was like, you know, I don't like this. I like the winter time, but I don't, because it gets dark early. And when it gets dark early around like 5 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you know, when it starts getting really dark, it's like dark as midnight at 6 o'clock, 7:30. It makes you feel like 5:30, you know? I'm like, hey, it's dark outside. Look at this. That's my window. But yeah. So that outing that I did was definitely a stressful one. I don't like being stuck in traffic. I get really irritated when I'm stuck in traffic for a long period of time. And I wasn't planning on, like, oh, I can go to the airport with someone and pick them up and stuff. But I'm like, everybody else was busy, so I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Why not? Take the dog with me. I have a free day. I'm not doing anything today. I didn't do anything today besides be stuck. That was my main event for Tuesday, was being stuck in traffic. I don't know. I'm just making this up. Yeah. But I'm like, me estimating. So that's how my evening went. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a nice evening, and I'll get back to you later. Well, here's when I say I didn't do anything today, I actually did do one more thing. Before I went to the airport and got stuck in that awful traffic both ways. But I took Winston to the dog park. Maybe I'll insert some clips in here, but maybe not. I don't know. He did really, really well until 25 minutes in, and then he decided being bad. I'm like, dude, I was like, you need a break. So I grabbed him, and then I'm like, you need a break. And then you know what he does. I walk away and let him go again, and he goes after this. He goes again. And I'm like, dude, now it's time to go home. So, yeah. Being at the dog park, which was fine, because I set a 30-minute timer anyway, so it's like, he won't even last 30 minutes, you know? So, yeah. So I was pretty smart on that. Hold on, I gotta go. And yeah, so I came home. Winston was filthy, and so I put him in the crate. He has this crate that goes in my mom's car and stuff, so that's why I took my mom's car. I didn't mention that, but I took my mom's car for that specific reason. So, yeah. Oh. My mom and I washed him. Actually, she washed him while I held him down with the hose. It was cold. He wasn't thrilled. It's like, he wouldn't be thrilled, because I wouldn't want to take a cold shower either. So, yeah. We trimmed around his eyes so he could see. He was getting a little overgrown. It's like when your hair gets overgrown. It's like, but his hair will get overgrown, like, with, like, in his eyes, so he can't see. So it's nice to see his eyes. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go now. Hey, so he's excited, obviously. So we're gonna go have fun. I brought some very good treats, so hopefully I can get him back. Yes, a good boy, and you gotta behave, okay? Or we're gonna leave. I'm gonna set a 30-minute buzzer timer, so we don't get really carried away in there, okay? Love you, Winston. Everybody loves Winston. Come here. Winston was being good until like a second ago, and then he started being bad. So we're going home, which is okay. I set a 30-minute timer. It's a good 25 minutes there. We spent a good 25 minutes running around before we started humping people. Other dogs, that's what I meant.